Hi, everybody. I hope everybody enjoyed the week 3 football action this past weekend. Unlike my first 2 weeks, this was not a profitable weekend for me. My picks were way off, at least my teaser was. None of the 3 legs hit. Of course, with a teaser, it only takes 1 loss to lose the whole thing. But the Lions beat the Falcons by 14. The Saints and Packers did not quite get to 37. And one of the big shocks of the weekend was the Texans crushing the Jaguars 37-17. So, after hitting 2 teasers in a row, I guess I was bound to lose one eventually, but that was more off than I expected to be. My other bet was the Cowboys-Cardinals under 43.5, and the total got to 44. If you had told me that the Cowboys would only score 16 points, I would have thought for sure that this would go under, but another big shock, the Cardinals won that game 28-16. So I was off by half a point there, but in gambling, getting close is not good enough. So I went into the week up 1 unit. I lost both my bets, so I'm now down 1 unit. This is why I always encourage responsible gambling, because you can have 2 good weeks, and then all of a sudden, things aren't looking as good. But I will come back this week with another pick, and we'll see if I can have better luck this week. My bet this week, and I'm only going to do one. I'm going to take a week off from single bets. I'm just going to do my signature teaser. I'm going to do a 3-leg teaser. This week is going to be 7 points because there's a couple numbers I really want to make sure I get to, and I'll explain that. But I'm continuing with the pattern of picking 2 outcomes and 1 total. So I will start with the total. I like the over in the Ravens-Browns matchup this week. The total is set at 40.5 right now. I've seen a few different numbers, but I've seen it at 41.5, 41. I'm getting it at 40.5 right now, and with a 7-point tease, that is 33.5. Both of these teams have scored at least 19 points every game so far this year. And even if the score is a 19-19 tie, that would still be 38. So well over 33.5. I know it's a division game, so that could mean, it's physical, and these defenses know the other's offensive schemes pretty well, but what we also have is 2 very athletic quarterbacks who can make plays happen. Watson and Lamar Jackson. And I think that this is going to go above 33.5. I don't know how confident I am that it will go over 40. I could see it being like a 20-17 type of game. But again, confident enough to put it in my teaser as the first leg. Ravens-Browns over 33.5. The second leg I'm going to do is the Kansas City Chiefs. They are favored by 9.5 against the Jets with a 7-point tease. That puts us at -2.5, and I love the Chiefs to cover that spread. Honestly, I would almost bet on them to cover the 9.5 because I think the Jets are that bad. But, you know, it's prime time. It's in New York, or they actually play in New Jersey. But, you know, could I see a scenario in which the Jets can come within a touchdown? Maybe. But I would be absolutely shocked if the Chiefs lose this game, and I feel pretty safe having them in my teaser at -2.5. There have been all kinds of rumors about the Jets maybe making a trade for Kirk Cousins or someone like that. Even if that happens and they replace Zach Wilson ahead of the Sunday night game, that wouldn't really scare me because I don't think a new quarterback coming in a short notice situation for one game is going to make that big of an impact. So, Chiefs -2.5 is the second leg of my teaser. And finally, jumping around a little bit on the schedule of games, but looking at the Miami Dolphins Buffalo Bills game, the Dolphins are 3-point underdogs at Buffalo. I've seen it at 2.5 some places, but at +10, I like the Dolphins. They scored just shy of a record 70 points this past weekend. I think the Bills are way better than the Broncos, but I would be very surprised if the Bills come in and blow out the Dolphins. I just don't see that happening. I think this will at the very least be close, and I think that number of 10 is very important, which is why I'm doing a 7-point tease instead of a 6.5-point tease. I think getting that insurance that even if the Bills manage to win this game by 10 points, that still won't kill the teaser. So I just think, another division game, they tend to play each other pretty close. I think with a 10-point cushion, the Dolphins are a really good bet here. So that's the final leg of this week's teaser, Dolphins +10. So to review, we have Ravens-Browns over 35.5, Chiefs -2.5 over the Jets, and Dolphins +10 against the Bills. So all AFC this week for my bets, and I'm going to keep it at that for now. I think it's important when you have a not great week to step back a little bit. If it comes to it and I go on a bad streak, I may even step away totally for a week or put out some other kind of content. But I think this week I'm going to just do a 1-unit play and hope that I can get back in the black in week 4. So this pays plus 120, and fingers crossed I managed to hit it. And looking real quick, there wasn't much else to cheer about for my futures bets. The Buccaneers lost, which I guess was sort of expected. The Rams lost, so it's not looking good for them in that division race. They do play the 49ers again this season, and of course there are a lot of games left to play, but being down 2 games to a Niners team, which is rolling, doesn't inspire confidence in that pick. Of course, as I mentioned before, the Jaguars lost. They really need to get it together, or my Super Bowl prediction is not looking good. I guess the one bright spot was the Patriots pulling off the win. They beat the Jets, advanced to 1-2. And I had mentioned in last week's video that I think that was really a must-win game for them to even potentially make the playoffs. I think if they went down 0-3, that would have just been a little too much to overcome. So good that they were able to get a win, and hopefully they can keep that momentum going and string a few wins together, and they'll be in the conversation for the playoffs toward the end of the year. So, again, better luck next week for me. I hope anyone else who made bets this weekend did better than I did. I hope that my content is still relevant to people, even when my bets aren't great, that people still enjoy hearing me talk through my thought process in making my picks, and that's why I do these videos. So thank you as always to my new subscribers, to everyone who watched last week, and enjoy the games this weekend. Bye-bye.